So in this video, I'm going to give you a high-level overview about how to go about building your software. So you've got this crazy idea, but you don't know how to turn it into an actual product. So I'm going to give you 10 to 11 steps of how to go about it. So the first one, you want to start with mind mapping. So this is a step where you kind of sketch the flow of how the app is going to work and how your users are going to go throughout your app. So let's say, for example, they're going to start with login, registration, then login, and so on. And then the second step is you want to now start wireframing. This is the part where you turn those that user flow and you start putting it onto screens, but very casually. So you mock up some screens and you just get an idea of what the main functionality should be on each screen. And then you go on to the next step, which is you want to go out there. Actually, the next step is prototyping. So then you want to sort of link these screens and in a way that you can just press on a button on a screen or a button on a screen and it takes you to the next one that it's meant to go to. Then after that, you want to start to gather some information. So you want to go and talk to the people who are going to use your application, and then you want to get some feedback and you want to get their input. So you let them play around with the prototype that you made, which is all just visual diagrams, just connected to each other, responsive to touch, right? And then you go back now and take this information, and then you can upgrade those screens, and then you proceed to the next step, which is to do the high fidelity designs. And this is now like a closer resemblance to what the real application is going to look like. So in this point, you're going to include all the colors, the fonts, and the imagery, and the various assets that are going to be on your website and stuff like that, or your software. So after you're done with the high fidelity designs, then you move on to the next step, which is now the code implementation. So now you've got the designs, which are all essentially just drawings, and then now you want to convert those into code that actually works and that people can actually use to do the functionality that it's intended to do. And this stage is going to be different depending on which platform you're going to publish your application on. It's going to be a mobile app, or if it's going to be a website, a mini program, or a desktop app, and all of that. So this is the point where we implement the code, but the specific steps might be different. All right, and then the next step after you've got your code ready, you want to do quality assurance testing, and at this point you're just trying to make sure that the app is behaving how it's intended to behave. If you press a button, you go to a screen that you actually want people to go to instead of going to a random screen, and also you test your functionality to make sure that it's working the way that it's meant to be working. Right, and then after you're done now with your quality assurance testing, then you want to go and get some beta testers. So maybe your friends, or maybe people early on you would have spoken to, and then just a few select people depending on the scale that you want to roll out eventually, and then you let them test your application. And if everything is okay, then now you do your final rollout, and this is when you do your official launch of application and you send it out to users out there. And so that is how you start from the idea to having a real app. But a point to note is that it's not done there quite yet, because you'll still have one more, there'll still be some steps after that, such as maintaining the code, just making sure that um, things are still working as intended, and also implementing new features. If you get a good amount of people using your application, you're going to continue to include more features. All right, so that's about it. I hope this has helped give you a bit of clarity about the entire process, and then you can have an idea of which step to take next if you've been working on an idea and haven't known where to start it.